All right, welcome back to Daybreak. I'm Victoria Rubadiri. Let's begin with a newspaper review. I'll introduce my guest. To my right is Honorable Chris Wamalwa, Kiminini MP, and Honorable Anthony Oluwache Amadare MP. Thank you so much for coming in. We are also waiting for Rosa Buyu, the Kisumu County Women Rep, as we delve into the issues of the day. Of course, flooding the front pages of all our dailies, KCPE, glory, tears of joy. This is the Daily Nation. There was jubilation and celebration across the country yesterday as top performers in this year's National Primary School exams received their results, released in Mombasa in a record 3 weeks. This is thanks to the deployment of technology in the marking process. Of course, that is a relief to a lot of the students, candidates waiting for those results pre-Christmas. So it was good, at least, to see that addition of technology to help with that marking process. Honorable Oluwache, what do you make of this? Also considering that private schools, again, ruled the roost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timing, I think, is very good. They can now go to Christmas with that anxiety not hanging over their heads. I think the Ministry of Education must be congratulated, Amina and her team, not to forget that we had a lot of concerted efforts, and I think we spoke here before about it. You've seen a lot of synergy, ministers coming in together and trying to pull their manpower, and you've seen Matiang'i waking up early mornings to be at the stations where they open up the exam, just giving it the added security.
Right.
The question of exam cheating, that's also a welcome thing. It's unfortunate that over the years this became big business, and the more unfortunate thing about it is that parents were also part of this. Why would a parent want to pay to get their kid to get quoted quotes top marks? I think that's, you're introducing your children to a culture of cheating, right, a culture of not working hard enough, and more importantly, we must remove this stigma that your child is not, that the parents must shoulder. You gave an example of, for example, during the holidays, how well do we occupy our children? And that's a big concern for me. It's now a holiday season, and I must grapple every day. What are my children going to be exposed to? There's too much time for them to go into the internet, get into other things where you are unable to monitor, because like she said, we are too busy doing too many things. There's this thing you've been seeing on TV in Kilifi and everywhere, the so-called disco matanga. And that thing is so popular. And I mean, you will not believe the kind of things that happen there. Small kids, literally small kids, doing the kind of dances that you will be shocked, that will shock your eyes, seeing kids doing. I mean, it is no wonder or small wonder then that you have this kind of teenage things happening, pregnancies. But the more pressing issue here, if you leave the parents and the amount of time and regulations we need to put and ring fencing our children, is the improper influence, actually criminal acts of teachers. When you're a teacher, either by improper influence or for whatever enticement reason, there is no justification for a teacher to be having sex with a student.
Right. More
so a student or somebody who is teenage in the age of 15, 14, 13 years. So I think looking at what the chair of NEC was trying to tell us is, first of all, let's address the cost. That's home. We must put in the kind of environment where our children don't do anything and everything they want, but we must go back to these criminals. These criminals must be thoroughly and badly punished. I wanted to say something he said earlier about ranking. I think part of the reason that at some point ranking was abolished is that we glorified too much you know, so and so your school is top, and it became the in thing that, you know, our school is this, to the extent that one of the schools, which I will not name, they will put students and say these are A students, and because they will lower our ranking, they take you and register. I don't know whether, Rosa, you've come across that. They have satellite schools, and actually they register these, or they have ability to influence or take people there. So your child lands in X school, but won't do exam there because it will affect the ranking, and you're taken elsewhere. So having dealt with this cheating thing, I hope if we've slayed this dragon, and this menace of cheating, there is no reason why we shouldn't. I mean, if it's going to also help us to know where we are performing, it's a good thing, but it was being abolished at some point because of the unscrupulous habits of trying to do too much in order to get to the top.
And I wonder if that helped with the performance generally, because this year over 12,000 candidates got 401 marks and above, the highest in 10 years.
Yes.
So to see a lot of those changes that you were talking about, Honorable Oluwatch, is this now the yielding of that? Are we seeing the results and fruits of those interventions, Honorable Wamala, when you see such a number of students who scored over 400 this year?
To me, I think ranking is something we can't run away from it, because even the political class, ranking is there. When it comes to performance, ranking is there. Whether it's economically or technologically, we cannot run away from ranking. As I said earlier, ranking was being done even right now in the animal kingdom. Ranking is everywhere. Even in your own families, parents try to rank their children. So you cannot run away. But if there are scrupulous business people who are taking the advantage, those are the people who must be punished. And why it is important to have ranking? It helps us in doing the analysis, so that after we've looked at the data, we've managed to analyze, we'll ask our questions. Why was this performance this way? Then you can put some mitigating strategies in place. Right. You see, like now, it has shown that the number of the students, the pupils who scored 400 and above, the number has increased. If that ranking was not there, we wouldn't have known that a specific number has gone up. When you look at the distribution, it's actually performances on the normal distribution curve. We've seen this time that the mean score, the average performance has gone up. Yeah. As I said, we use some statistical tools, like look at the standard deviation, to be able to know, have we moved upwards? Have we moved backwards? But before maybe I stop, I want to mention something on the issue of parenting. The responsibility of parenting is with the parent. You cannot run away from this. My kids go to some schools whereby they emphasize heavily on parenting. I know times are difficult, and majority of the parents are trying to make ends meet at the expense of their children. I think to you parents, you cannot run away from this. Take time to look at the assignment of your children. Take time to know what kind of friends are your children having. We have these things in the modern society called sleepover. I find my kids want to go sleepover. Please be able to know these sleepovers. What kind of a family? Where is your child going? Yeah. You know, in the school that my children go to, they don't just allow your child to go everywhere. When in the pretense of these sleepovers, that's where they learn bad manners, and that's why you are seeing even many parents, they don't want their children to go to boarding schools. So it is the responsibility of the parents to take care of the children. We appreciate the effort that the teachers are bringing, but the teachers cannot replace parenting. And in this case, we've seen most of the children are on TV. They are on these smartphones. They are learning bad manners about these smartphones. The technology has changed. Our days, we never had these smartphones. The TVs, the programs that come, they were totally different. But right now, the liberalization that has come, you find that the children, they know so much. You know, so because of the advanced technology and this accessibility, this is the time now parenting. And also the church. The church plays a very critical role. My kids go to Sunday school and they learn some values. So as we try to talk about the issue of the parents, the issue of the teachers, also the church. The church must be able to come in. You find some church, it leaves a lot to be desired. The programs that they put in place, the Sunday school, they help in mentoring the society. So we're also telling the church, the moral values that are decaying, where is the church?
Okay, so clearly it is a lot more stakeholders than just the parents who should be responsible for the well-being of our children.